All right, what is up, everybody? Shadow Scout 0013 here, reporting in for another list build, this time with a Discord request, which I found fascinating and really cool. And I mean, it's been around for a long time. I mean, triple sabs, what we're kind of talking about. And what he also named it was awesome. It's called It's a Trap. Double bounty, triple sabs, super awesome looking fun brew homebrew game. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and go over a list with that. It's going to have Cad Bane, Bosk, 3 SAP teams. And I'm going to kind of try to fill out the rest of the list, which was really fun. And I really like doing it. So if anyone have any other ideas like this, send me a screenshot of what you like and continue doing it. I mean, we had another one down here, very similar with the Magna Guards and stuff, but we're going to go over 2 lists that I made regarding bombs. Really, it's all about bombs, bombs, bombs. So that's what we're going to do. So if you haven't already, go ahead and head to burnacademy.com and subscribe now for $15 to get 3, 4, 5, 6 day a week workout plans that are all 12 weeks long for building muscle, losing weight. There's corrective exercise programs. So if you've injured yourself before, there's home workouts, there's my workouts, there's a ton of stuff for you. So it's all beneficial. If you haven't already, go ahead and head here and you can stay in the loop there if you need to. And if you haven't already, go ahead and join the Discord, which we are taking from today. And I will leave a link down below. And it's growing and it's awesome. I love the community. It's really, really fun. Everyone's really nice and everyone's saying hello. So super, super awesome. Okay, so let's get into it. We are going to go ahead and give the specifications of what was required. And before I go ahead and fill the rest of this out, I'm going to go ahead and try to, well, we'll go ahead and do this, sorry. And so with the strike team, or with Bosk, I should say, we'll go ahead and start with Bosk. He had Hunter and targeting scopes, which I think is great. I think that's really all you need on him. If you wanted something else, you could maybe give him seize the initiative if you needed to, but you don't have to. You also, if you wanted targeting scopes, definitely a great, almost a good staple on him because of the amount of dice that he has, but it just kind of depends. At least Hunter, I would always have on him. With Cad Bane, so what we had already put on there, so if we go back and take a look, sorry guys, we will look that there's duck and cover, situational awareness, comms relay, environmental gear, and his gauntlets. So we'll kind of go back and attach all of those. So duck and cover. So when defending against a ranged attack, during the apply and dodge and cover step, you may gain a suppression. So we're putting this on him mostly because of his danger sense. He's got danger sense 3. So if we look at him, he's going to be able to, roll extra defense dice when he is, rolling for defense. So that'll be great. And then he also has a command card that allows him to give off those suppression tokens to nearby enemies, also giving them immobilized tokens. So it's really good to have. I also feel like you might not need it because he's going to get shot at quite a bit, especially if you kind of put him up close. So you might also want to go with, up close and personal and situational awareness. But we're going to go with these specifically because there is a strategy that you could use with it. So situational awareness as well. Comms relay to give out an order. Instead of giving it to him, he can relay it to, a friendly unit at range 1 to 2. All right. And then we had environmental gear. So you get unhindered. So if he's behind the barricade, he won't need to go speed 1. He's already got jump 1. So you don't necessarily need unhindered because he can jump over that, but you might need it just in case you do have a lot of terrain pieces and maybe you jump from off a building and then you still have a cover or some, difficult terrain you got to get through. So unhindered could also, help him with that. And then he also has steady. So he'll be able to move, and then take a free ranged attack action after that move, which will count as his attack action. So you can't move, shoot, just by the way. And then, so we're going to go with environmental gear and then his electro gauntlets, which is really cool. Now, I don't know how often you want Cad Bane to be in melee, and I don't know how far away you'd be able to keep him because he's only got a range 1 to 2 gun. So enemies could get in on him, and he might try to go after the Jedi while boss goes after, the random general. So that could be something, and maybe why you would want electro gauntlets on there, just in case, because immobilize 3. I mean, Sabine, I definitely hate playing against Sabine. She's so hard to kill for some reason. And with the recover, getting that suppression off of her, man, it so immobilize 3 will stop her because of the 3 immobilized tokens. So, and it's suppressive. So it's fantastic. And then you can make moves while you're engaged. So maybe you get to go first. Maybe with Cad's command card, if we take a look at it, it just says he can perform up to 2 attack actions. So it doesn't say it has to be ranged. It doesn't say it has to only be melee. So say that you were engaged, maybe at the end of the round, you decided to get engaged with someone or however you did it. Then you play this one. Maybe you use your, where to go? Right here. Maybe you use your electro gauntlets to immobilize them. And then as your second action, you move, and then you could do a free attack action and you steady to shoot back at them. They'll have light cover, but luckily you have sharpshooter 1, so that suppression won't matter. So that's one way to really try to do what you can against someone, especially Sabine, if you ever play against Sabine, which I don't know, you probably won't, but that's just one thing to use. So obviously I would go with your worst nightmare. And then this is all about bombs. So we are definitely going to go with merciless munitions. I know you're going to divulge Cad Bane's I make the rules now. Okay, that one's going to go first. Maybe your second one would be merciless munitions, and go ahead and lay that mine down to prevent anyone going that direction, because you don't want anyone anyway getting close to boss, because he has white dice saves and no surging to defense. You do get 2 surge tokens if you don't get an order, but maybe you have to give him an order and he doesn't wind up having any surge tokens, or maybe he's used those surge tokens and it's a really big dice pool. So, or it's Pierce. So you don't want him getting anywhere near anybody. So I'd use this maybe near the more beginning of the round. Reptilian Rampage, definitely I would go ahead and have, and I know I'm going over the command cards now, but I mean, it's going to be pretty obvious what we're doing with this list. So I figured we could go ahead and go over the command cards, just by the way. I'm in control. So because of duck and cover, and because he's probably going to get close with this, I would assume he's going to be really, really close and needing the duck and cover. Because if you do have a ton of suppression and that you do play this card, which is hard to compete against the other one. So it just kind of depends. His 1 pip, I should say, when you're getting pretty close to people. But at the start and end, so maybe at the start of the round, you are nearby a few of them and you just a few units, enemy units, maybe you give out one of those suppressions that you have, and then maybe you move, take your shot, and then at the end, you can transfer the rest of the suppression that you have to any number of trooper units at range 1 to 2. So that is pretty far. That is pretty good. And you'd probably use that before you use Cad Bane's 1 pip. So that's really going hard with Cad Bane, because at range 1 to 2, you know that you're going to probably be getting in close, and then someone's going to start melee with you, and then you'd go with his 1 pip. Hopefully there's not a lot of Pierce, and hopefully it's a small dice pool, but you're not trying to get into melee with anybody with Cad, because he's still got white dice saves with, surge to defense, danger sense, and I'm your worst nightmare will also allow him to gain uncanny luck. So you're going to be getting real close with him. He might be on the verge of death when he uses those, but it just kind of depends. So I'd go with that one. And then your 3 pips. Definitely you're divulging with this because you want the bomb. That's the point of it. Okay. The fact that you're going to get 3 tokens, you're going to get, 3 Cad Bane tokens. One's going to be smoke and mirrors, the other one's going to be a bomb, and the other one's going to be him. And then maybe you set that bomb next to one of their objectives. And then maybe on the second turn, you go with merciless munitions and you put one of his bombs near one of your objectives in case anyone wants to come around there. And you've already got 3 strike teams that are about to lay even more bombs everywhere. Not to mention, if you wind up getting minefield, it's going to be insane the amount of bombs that are on the field, which would be really, really cool, but you never know. And so the other 3rd pip I would go with, you could go with lying in wait, but again, you don't really want to give Bosk orders, and he doesn't have a way to give out his order to somebody else. So we will have a ton of droids, by the way. So Roger would also be a good choice. The fact that you're going to be able to give them a dodge, and we're going to have 3 strike teams. So the fact that you're going to be able to give 3 droids in order, you could give them to the strike teams and give them a dodge. That way they don't have to AI dodge and or move. All right, so if we look at the BX strike team, they do have red defense dice. They don't surge. There's only 1 hit to them, and there's only going to be 2 in this. So we got to be really careful on how we do it. Now, scale is going to be really good. Scout 3 is what's really going to be perfect about setting those bombs as much as you can. You're probably only going to get 1, possibly 2 chances of hopefully laying bombs out, maybe 3 if they wind up surviving. If you can keep at least one of them in cover for sure, they could last 2 rounds and at least put down 2 bombs. So you could have 2 units trying to go out and put out bombs where they need to be, and hopefully get 2 turns out of 2 droid units. So that could be hopefully 4 bombs placed other than Cad Bane's bomb, other than Bosk's bomb on the second turn. So the first 2 turns, you're really setting out as many bombs as you can in preparation for everyone coming in. So we're going to have to pick, objectives that are really based around that. And so there's a few different things that we can do. I'm not going to choose to do one of them. I'm just going to go with regular BX strike teams and hope that it works. But there's something else you could do. So let's go ahead and put situational awareness on them, since they're automatically going to either, if they don't have an order, take a dodge or move. Again, right here. So their first turn, maybe they take a dodge and then maybe they lay out a bomb, but now they have a dodge. At least you can, use situational awareness to your advantage. So we are going to go with 3 of them. Now, one of them, I would definitely give the deflector shields, because with one of them, you're going to want to keep them alive so that they can continue detonating all the bombs. So basically, all of the BX droids are going to be able to arm 1, Dox's mine. They can also detonate a Dox's mine, and then they all have blast and poison 1. They all surge to hit. So any of those BX droids, as long as at least, as far as I understand, as long as there's at least 1 BX droid strike team still alive, they can detonate all these other bombs. So if you can keep one of them in the back alive, the best they can to make sure that they're setting off all the bombs after these 2 strike teams are done for, then at least you've got that going for you. If I'm wrong, then I would definitely at least still take 1 with deflector shields, but I think that I'm right. So now we have to have a commander. It doesn't need to be a crazy commander at the moment, but we do want one that is going to be able to give out an order to at least some droid troopers. So let's at least go with a tactical droid. Now you can definitely choose to go with the Kraken or Kalani, especially Kalani, but we have so many command cards that are already going for. So we don't really need, those guys. We don't as much as they are, because most of the time you're also taking them for the command cards, which we're not going to use. And then, so we have 2 bounty hunters. We're going to have to take Underworld Connections. And there's no point in putting a comms relay on him, because he's not going to be, needing orders. He doesn't have AI or anything, and he's not giving out any orders. So you're not going to be able to give him an order. Maybe he stays close to, Bosk and bolsters him. So maybe what could happen is if Bosk didn't get an order and you drew the T series first, then maybe you could use the T series droid to bolster, choose up to 2 friendly units, and each one gains a surge token. Maybe you give those 2 surge tokens to Bosk because it says choose up to. And then if you do have to choose 2 units, maybe you give one to Bosk and then another one to another, anyone else. Just kind of up to you. And then, am I reading it right? Yeah. So choose up to 2 friendly units at range 1. Each chosen unit gains a surge token. So yeah, just choose 2 friendly units. At least give one to Bosk, and then he'll have 3 surge tokens. So his defense will at least be a little bit higher, which will go a long way. And then, so here's where we can get fancy. All right, so the tactical series droid can coordinate to a B1 battle droid. And then you could go ahead and create your line. So there's a few things that we're going to do. We're going to try to have as many activations as we can. So 12 activations so far. Okay. If you want to just naked B1 droids, you could, go with some support, maybe go with some stat riders. A stat rider, I should say. And that's up to you. I mean, I don't know what good that would be. And you still wouldn't have enough even if you took away one of those battle droids. But let's go ahead and start beefing up some stuff. Maybe you decide to go with some long range, because a lot of stuff you don't have long range. You've got a lot of bombs, so you're going to need something that kind of shoots out far as possible. So maybe we go with a few E5s, which can shoot range 1 to 4, a red and a white critical 1. All right, and then maybe you give the radiation cannon, since we already have since we have Dioxys mines, and we also have, Bosk's mine, you can go ahead and put out some radiation as well. So we'll go with 2 of those. Why not? Leaving us with a whopping 17 points left. So there's a few things that we can do. If you maybe wanted to keep Bosk or Cad Bane alive, go with the medical droid. Since those are your real big people who are going to have the bounty, you want to make sure they stay alive. So maybe you go with the EV series medical droid, and that's it. 797, 12 activations. And, Cad, Bosk, T series is always coordinating to the battle droids. The only ones who won't have an order token will be these guys up here. Your all three XBX droids, all 3 strike teams, basically your T series droid, and Cad and Bosk. You could decide to, if you wanted, maybe get rid of one of the radiation cannons. Go ahead and give yourself HQ uplink if you felt like it. Or instead of giving one of them HQ uplink, you could give maybe the T series HQ uplink and comms relay. That way it could just give its orders, maybe one of the BX droids. So you go with that one, and well, you can't go with comms relay, sorry, HQ uplink. So it would just give him an order. And then you could honestly give maybe one of the BX droids comms or HQ uplink, but it's honestly up to you. Then we have somewhat long range. We've got radiation stuff. Yeah, we'll go ahead and give ourselves another one. It's just kind of up to you. Now, the other thing I was talking about earlier with the other way that you could do this is give yourself a full team. So go ahead and back out, give yourself the full BX command droids just to be safe. And then that way, if one ever died, you've got multiple things left. And all we have to do is just take away something. Let's take away one of those. And if we took away a radiation cannon, we still have, 2 long range and a short range, tons of short range stuff. Now, the BX droids, if, you get the chance to take a shot, maybe you do take a shot. Doubtful, but that's just up to you. Maybe you still just stick with those strike teams, which is what I would do, honestly. And then again, give one of those the shield. We still have 12 activations. So again, what you could just do is go back to having 2 of these or adding one of those each, 797. The biggest thing that you could also do is instead maybe let's see, where was it? You give yourself basically the B2 super droids. So that way you have some sort of anti-armor because you don't have any anti-armor as well. And you go with the B2 Haw droid and you go with the T-Series droid. And then maybe instead of the E5s, maybe you go with some radiation cannons. You won't have anything still up close. So you just have to be really careful. Maybe you give 1 radiation cannon. You have 16 points left. So you could at literally, go with the E5 to get a little bit more range, but yeah, why not? That'll give you don't have to worry about the super battle droids getting in order because they've got AI canceled with the T-Series droid, because then you don't have to worry about it. And they're going to gain reliable 1, which will give them a surge that they can use for whatever they want. All right. And then that kind of keeps a little bit more close range / anti-armor as well. You've got 2 radiation cannons. You've got 3 naked 2 naked battle droids and at least a battle droid with a medic so that you can heal your main guys. Maybe you don't want the medic. Maybe you want to bring back your sabs and you just change it over to a PK droid and you've got 2 points to spare. Right now, objectives. You kind of want to set up as much as you can a trail for your bombs to divert your opponent's forces into whatever you want. You can funnel them. You can, make sure that bombs are going off on one side and then the other side. And so that forces them into the middle, kind of going after you. You can put them all in the middle and on one side. You can surround objectives with them depending on the objective that you need to do. So there's a few that we can choose. Intercept the transmissions would be one of them that you can choose, because what you can do is set the bombs to go off around the objective. So when people have to get in range, at least the unit leader, then you can go ahead and set it off and boom. So that's one way to do it. And then you can also make sure that there's one around your, back end. You could set that bomb from, Cad Bane on their back, intercept the transmission. So they're going to wind up having set it off anyway. So that's one way to do it. Key positions, you could just set your bombs around the key positions, make sure you're on the other side or forcing them or putting the bombs on both sides and just staying on one end and staying back and or protect your back objective as much as you can. That's one way of doing it. You could do recover the supplies, because you can still use Cad Bane to get into the middle and set a bomb near one of their back objectives and then set bombs, try to get Cad running to you as you throw your bombs forward. So that way, when they try to run to you, there's a huge minefield to go through, basically. So there's one, sabotage the moisture evaporators. Once you've already sabotaged your evaporators, you can place as many bombs around them as you can, or maybe turn one, go ahead and, you're going to have to AI dodge. Maybe you AI dodge sabotage. Maybe you move and throw and get one of your other guys. It's just there's so many possibilities. I don't want to keep going over them, but yeah, there's so many. And then, or hostage exchange would also be fun. And let's see. I'd get rid of key positions and go with hostage exchange, especially if you do take the super battle droids, because they're going to have quite a lot of health. They'll have 9 health? Because 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yeah, they'll have 9 health with a hostage at courage 2. They'll be able to move. They're moving at speed 1. but they have armor 1. They're going to be able to hold their own, and then someone else can pick them up in case that's an issue. And you can lay out bombs to make sure no one's running towards your hostage. Yeah, that's nice. These bombs are going to be so much fun. Advanced positions, you'll have scout 4. So you're going to be able to put literally, hopefully you'll be able to get to the middle and then just throw a bomb with one of your scouts, the other scout. And, or maybe you have your objectives and you just are throwing bombs everywhere over here to literally create a wall somehow. So there's that one. Long march, you have scout 3. And so you'll be able to already move out and just start placing a bomb, place another bomb, or with recover the supplies. Hopefully you're scouting out, throwing a bomb in the middle, having CAD just kind of run, intercept the transmissions. Maybe you're running out, throwing a bomb over here, throwing bombs over here, forcing them on this side, and all of your armies over there trying to go through. And then you have some other guys trying to maybe make it with the scout that you do have. It kind of depends. Major offensive for sure. And you don't have any vehicles. So it's hard. This last one is pretty difficult to choose. With battle lines, everyone is so spread out, so your bombs might not just go as far. You kind of want them huddled. And with danger close, they're too close, and it's on both ends that they're pretty close to you. This one, yeah, maybe you could defend yourself with being blue player, because a lot of people I know are trying to be red player. So, you might not have to have a huge, double point bid. All you need is 7, maybe, when you're doing competitive. So there's lots of stuff you can take out of here if you wanted a bid. That way you could do this. And so let's go with him then. Now the conditions. This is where it gets fun. I would definitely go with either limited visibility so that you can get your bombs out as much as you can. Minefield, it'd be hard because yes, there's more bombs you get to place next to their objective, but that's still more bombs they're placing next to your objective. And you've got, your BX strike team. Yeah, they can use their deflector shields, and you can use the 2 shields for both of them. And then hopefully, since they're in the back anyway, they can just dodge and recover and get those back. So it won't be that bad. Yeah, let's go with it. Why not? Supply drop for sure. And then you could go with clear conditions. Hostile environment also wouldn't be that bad because Boss and Cat are going to go with their own courage. Cat's got courage 3. Boss is going to usually be behind something, trying to scale anyway. And the droids don't really care about suppression until they panic. So you just have to be careful if you do go with hostile environment, but at least it forces your opponent in, if they, especially with the Shadow Collective, or if maybe they have Shadow Collective spread out in their list with self-preservation, maybe hostile environment will force them to kind of stay on something. It just kind of depends. So maybe you go with hostile environment, maybe you go with clear conditions. I'm going to just put hostile environment because I think that it's going to be way more fun that way anyway. So sorry for such a long list and a long explanation, and that there being so many ways to do this with 12 activations, because you're going to want, with so many bombs, you're going to want as many bodies as possible to be able to withstand some of those bombs going off, possibly if you're around some of those bombs. So you've just got to be careful in how you go here, because you don't want your guys in the radius. So you got to make sure that those guys are scouting and throwing as far as they can to make sure that the enemy is running into them and your guys are staying back waiting as much as possible, while, Cad Bane and Boss either go for those objectives as fast as they can with, being able to put Cad anywhere on the board for the most part, and then Boss could just long range. But that's it. You don't really have, people are going to be coming for you, so you better be prepared for it. So that's all I would just say. And like I said, the other one that I'll have two lists. I'll have the long range one where it's the 3 battle droids with that E5 B1. Yeah, that is range 1 to 4. So you do have some sort of long range cover for your guys just in case, because you don't want people just coming up and shooting your Dioxys team. You kind of want some sort of range. So that's where the BX battle, the super battle droids would be taken out, and you would try to put back in those E5s as best you can. And yeah, you have 5 points left. You still got 2 radiation cannons. You got, these. If you wanted to, you could drop the PK series Worker Droid and again go with the healing. It's just up to you. But I will leave it there. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Go ahead, like and subscribe for sure. Leave a comment down below. Definitely go ahead and come to the Discord and leave something like this, and I will definitely take a look. Gives me an idea, and I would love to play this on TTS at some point. 12 activations, double bounty, triple sabs, bombs everywhere, tons of bombs being taken out. People, that's awesome, and a lot of radiation poisoning. Lots of radiation poisoning. So there you go, guys. And if you haven't already, again, go to the Burn Academy, subscribe, and check it out. It's really fun. It's really nice. If you haven't, you can check out some of the things that I have on here. You can, go to the About Me, check it out. I've been personal training for almost 10 years at this point. I've competed. I didn't have a coach, did it just all by myself, and did my own diet, did everything. So if you're just looking to work out, I already have a lot of stuff on there. I'm trying to make it as affordable as possible to have as many things as I can. There's abs and core, there's example meal plans, everything that you can do to track your progress. If you do have any questions, just, ask down below. And you can go to my Instagram as well. I don't really post on there very much. I try to, but I get sidetracked. All right, guys. Sorry for, all that stuff, but I will catch you guys later. Y'all have a good rest of your day, and may the force be with you.